Why does your wife constantly nag at you? Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about holding a mirror up to yourself on why your wife nags at you? This is something I hear all the time from men is it's always their wife's fault. Their wife's fault. They do this, they do that. Their wives don't do this, whatever it might be. And I always ask the men, do you hold the mirror up to yourself? And they kind of look at me and they usually say, what do you mean? I said, well, you're holding a mirror to your wife and she obviously isn't changing. So have you ever thought about changing yourself? And most men go, no, I'm not the problem. I said, oh, you're not? So I start asking questions. How's your body? Usually not pretty good. It's not usually not good. How's your business? Oh, that's good. I make all the money. Okay, well, could you make more? Could you work more? Could you change things up? Be home more? Yeah, probably. How's your purpose with God? Do you take your wife on date nights? Do you hang out with the kids? Like quality time? Usually the answers are no. And so I say, why don't we start with just the easy stuff, which is your body, taking your wife on a date, hanging out with the kids, and quality time at work, not just hanging out and doing things, but actually have a purpose in all aspects of life, not just in one aspect, which for most men is business, which is great. But why don't you have all four domains going? Body, being, balance, business. And so I tell men, typically when the wives nag, it's usually because of you, because they're raising another child. They don't want to be married to a child. They'll raise children, but they don't want to be married to a child. They want to be a female, be feminine, like not have to be masculine in how they're acting towards their husband because their husband can't figure it out. I had a conversation with a guy and he's probably 80 pounds overweight. And I said, do you think your wife wants to have sex with you? Do you think you would show up differently if you lost 80 pounds in business? Do you think you'd show up differently in meetings? You would be more confident? He's like, yeah. I could, well, why don't we do it? Oh man, I'm so busy. Everyone's busy. It's like if you're too busy to take care of your health, take care of your marriage, take care of your kids, then just get divorced. Just take care of yourself. Start with that. Like, start with you. Start with just what you want. Not what anybody else wants. Start with what you want. Because once you figure out what you want in all areas of life, not just business, but in body, being, balance, and business, figure out what you want and then start from there. Show up in certainty, and that's what your wife wants. The nagging will go away eventually. You have to prove yourself that you are living in certainty, that you are doing what you say you're going to do. If you tell your wife you're going to go to the gym every day and you don't go to the gym, you do not create certainty. You tell your wife we're going to go on date nights and you don't go on date nights, you are not creating certainty. So it's a pretty simple game. Live in discipline and live in certainty. The only way you can gain certainty is if you live in discipline. If you do what you say you're going to do and stop lying. The biggest one is lying to yourself. Everyone lies to themselves in some way. And so how far does that lie go? Typically, a lot of our truths that we think are truths are lies that are wrapped up in a bunch of stories. That when we strip away those layers, it's a bunch of lies. Pretty crazy. Oh, I'm doing a good job in the gym. Oh, you are? You're still fat. Oh, I have a great marriage. You have sex once a month. Oh, I hang out with my kids a lot. Oh, you do? What's a lot? Oh, I make a lot of money. Oh, yeah? What's a lot of money? It's like you can always be better. You can always do more. And the only way to start with that is stop lying, live in discipline, and that creates certainty in what you want in life in all four areas: body, being, balance, and business. We can't just have one on fire or two on fire. We have to have all four to have abundance. And that's what God has called us to do. Not just have a good body, but have a good body, show up in our marriage, show up in our business, and have purpose. Because once you have the purpose, then that creates certainty too. So discipline and integrity equals certainty, meaning you know your purpose. So I want you to walk into a room and people be like, what does that guy got? Because when you have that, you have certainty, and most people don't have that. So if your wife's nagging at you, just try to be disciplined. Don't try, be disciplined and live in integrity. Stop lying to yourself and to her. See what happens.